Today on William's Adventures, we're once again down here in the shop. And I got a new project that Nicole wanted me to work on because we had to modify the countertops up in the kitchen. And so she wanted a cutting board that's bigger than the one she has to actually be the countertop for the cabinet that's upstairs. And a friend of mine tried to do it, but he used the wrong type of wood. He used CCA, and I don't want those chemicals seeping into any food that is prepared on the cutting board. So I made another one. So I'm going to flip the camera around and explain what I got going on, what I'm trying to do, and the progress I've made, because I'm like halfway through the project already. I didn't even think about filming it until now, so we're gonna start the party from here. Alright, so here's the cutting board. As you can see here, I use nice thick 2x6s, and it's 3 2x6s wide, and then like this little section here. So overall, it is, hold on a second, well, just a touch over 18 inches wide and just under 25 inches long. Now, the problem with the wood I used, because it was this old workbench my grandfather had in the other garage that I tore apart and dragged outside, and I'm using that wood, which is non-CCA treated wood, is, if you can see here, it's slightly warped. So what I have to do is take the warp out. Now I have it almost done. I gotta do a little bit more here and on this edge, and then work this board. And I tried sanding with 50 grit sandpaper, and that was taking way too long. So I got out the old hand planer, and that's what I've been doing, is taking and literally finding the high spot and then planing it down and whitening it out. As you can see here, what I started doing was I went from this board here at an angle across the wood to take and get it flattened down. I do apparently have a ridge running right down here. But what I did originally was I glued it all together, and then I took this really long bit I had and this 1/2 inch dowel, and I drilled a hole all the way across it over to here so that it wasn't just glue holding this thing together. And there's also one down there. As you can see, here's like old nail marks and, you know, all kinds of stuff, like a screw hole, knot holes. But, you know, I have to take and obviously finish it. Like, yeah, here was obviously on the edge of the board something that was tacked on here a long time ago. And this side is untreated or unfinished. I don't really need to worry about this side since, well, it's not going to be used because it's going to be glued down to the countertop or the cabinet. So I'm just worrying about this finished side. I wanted to show you what I got going on and the progress I've made. Alright, so as you can see here, I have a bunch of shavings on the ground. I cleaned up my workspace. What I did was I sanded this smooth, except for right here, right down this ridge here, and then a little bit right here. It's very hard, very, very hard, and so I'm having difficulty sanding it. But you can see here, it's nice and smooth. Now what I did was I rounded off the corners on all sides except for the bottom. So this is nice and rounded off all the way around. And what I'm gonna take and do now is run a bead of glue down here to fill in these cracks along in here. So that's my next plan. Maybe so. Oh, I'll take and use some wood putty. But there we go. All right. So I took and I filled in all the cracks, holes, divots, stuff like that with wood putty, as you can see here. I even did the sides, the ends, all the way around. And there we go. So now all I have to do is wait for that to dry. And I think I'll take and put glue in this side, these edges. This way I'm not wasting wood putty because I got very little left. Alright. Alright, so I'm up here in the kitchen, as you can see behind me. What I did was I finished sanding the cutting board down that I was making for Nicole. And then I glued it with E6000 to the top of the cabinet. So and then I finished it off with olive oil. So I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you what's going on. So there we go. Now, due to the nature of the wood, as you can see here, there's a gap under here, but it is glued along this edge here and that edge there. But otherwise, it is nice and smooth and feels like velvet. If velvet felt like wood. But there you go. There's the finished product installed. And currently the glue's drying. So there we go.